Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Miami Comedy Podcast. It's Manny Garavito, your host, and today we're going to be giving you a comprehensive guide on how to vote in the city of Miami. Don't worry about it, I'm not going to go on a political rant or tell you who to vote for. This is all for fun. So, to get started, keep in mind the location you are voting in. For example, if you're in Brickell, that bridge may be up. Be careful. That bridge goes up whenever it wants. And on election day, I got a feeling that the operator is going to be trigger happy on keeping that bridge up to prevent people from getting their votes in. In Brickell, also, the parking's going to suck. You may have to park far away. Just keep in mind, Brickell is probably going to be the most difficult place to get your vote in on time. Try your best to show up early if you're in the Brickell area. Also, keep in mind that you guys may be considered the most affluent people in the area of Miami, so you guys are definitely going to be targeted. All right? Try to avoid the propaganda. Try to avoid someone influencing on what you should vote for or what your values are. Trust me, you're targeted. I can already imagine how they're going to get you. Flyers out in the street, Mary Brickell Village, you can't go to the gym without somebody standing out there asking you poll questions. Oh, who are you going to vote for? Or all that stuff. Trust me, man, they're going to be doing that stuff. Someone with a microphone recording content might go up to your face. Who'd you vote for? If they're out there trying to influence your vote, it's already a big red flag. All right, next up, if you're voting in Coral Gables, I know you got a high-paying job. I know lunch break is probably the best time of the day for you. I've seen you out on the streets. You guys all wear the same suits. Okay, I get it. Banks are there. Hotels are there. High-end restaurant chains are there. Coral Gables is probably one of the coolest places to cast a vote in because you're around the money, okay? And it's that old school money. And because of that old money, keep your political opinions to yourself. Don't say who you're voting for because, believe me, people are judging you. The concierge is judging you. The people staying at that hotel are judging you. The people you meet at a happy hour are judging you. Your boss is judging you. Your coworkers judging you. You're playing golf in the Coral Gables golf area. They're judging you. Keep it to yourself, man. That place is very influential. Speaking of judgmental, let's head on over to Hialeah, where all the abuelas are judging you as soon as you enter the place. For some reason, they all love to volunteer in helping you cast your vote. You know why? Because as soon as you walk through those doors, they're already looking at you up and down. And it's almost like they say, Yo sé que usted va a votar. I know who you're voting for, and I disapprove. And they're walking around, and it's quiet. Every time there's old lady moderators at a voting area, it's always, you feel like you're in trouble. It's tense. Like you're going to get reprimanded. You know, like the chancleta's coming out at any moment because you spoke a little too loud. And they're a little chismosa. You know, I've felt it. All right, they lean over. They try to see who you're voting for. Get off me, lady. Damn, I'm trying to cast my vote here. So in Hialeah, expect to be judged extremely by the people volunteering. I think anywhere you go, the power trip that volunteers have is immense in Miami, and you can definitely feel the tension in the air. You might as well have a bouncer checking for IDs, maybe a VIP line. So keep in mind that Miami is very particular when it comes to voting. There's a power struggle involved, there's a location thing involved, and there's a celebratory thing as well because you actually were able to cast your vote even though you arrived on Miami time. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some pointers on how to research candidates you don't know about. It doesn't matter what you're voting for, all right? I think this works with just about anybody because let's face it, there's some people on there that you wonder, how the hell did you get in the ballot? If you do some research, there's some names in there when you look them up, you wonder, how did they get there? I mean, I've seen things where somebody still has like conspiracy theories posted on their Twitter, and for some reason they're on the ballot for a very important election. There's some people that might have believed 10-foot aliens actually walked in Bayside trying to get your vote. Imagine that. So if you search them and they got anything like that online, you already know that's a red flag. The next thing is any scandals. If they ever told you to invest in Miami coin and they actually left that tweet up, red flag, you're out. Look up their website. Try to see what they believe in, read their headlines. Sometimes a video can give you more or less a feel for who this particular person is. Or even worse, if they don't even have a website or it's a 404 broken page, big red flag. Or another thing is like when they don't post on social media, they just keep it to themselves. You know, they probably someone with like 10 followers or something like that. These people actually end up on ballots. I'm telling you, look it up. There's some people that sneak in there and you wonder how the hell they're doing it. If they're not on podcasts, if they're not, doing interviews, if they don't show their face publicly, they're just working in the background and they end up on the ballot. Big red flag. That's the best you can do. I mean, politicians lie. Let's face it. They do it. That's what they do. It's part of what it is, right? You try to do your best, but every once in a while, you got to pull some strings. So I get it. So the best you can do when you come across a name on the ballot is look them up and see what they claim. And then 4 years later, just figure it out. If you don't know a candidate and you go on their social media, what they post says a lot about them. I mean, I'm sure you do that with your friends too. maybe people you don't meet, people that are following your friends. You just look at their profile and you kind of get a feel. It's the same thing with politicians that you don't know about here in Miami. You know, if you go on their timeline, are they out partying? Are they spending time with families? Do they go to all the hot spots of Miami? Do they mingle with other politicians? Do they mingle with the locals? When a reporter puts a microphone on their face, how do they react? Do they look scared? Do they try to run away? Are they suspected of money laundering? Did they start a fist fight over in City Hall in Coral Gables? All these things, they count. So go on the internet, print out an example ballot, know who you're voting for in advance, and then use that as a cheat sheet when you go out to the voting polls. And keep in mind, Miami time is going to be a very big factor when it comes to voting. So if you do wait last minute, expect long lines, expect traffic, terrible parking, judgmental people at the door. You never know what you might expect. So if you really want to cast your vote and make it count, make sure you make the time to vote and get in there, know who you're going for, and get right out. That is it for this episode of the Miami Comedy Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. What's your take? What are some tips that you have when it comes to casting a vote here in the city of Miami? Put it on the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next episode.